Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Garcia. I'm a software support specialist over here at DistributorCentral. Today's webinar, we're going to be focusing around product search and presentation tools. So this will come in handy for you if you're new to DistributorCentral, if you've been with us for a while and you want to know how to utilize the tools that we offer through your DC dashboard. So we'll go over things such as how to search for a product, how to email products to your customers, how to build a product list and send it off to your customers, along with a lot of other things, just everything that revolves around product search and presentation tools. So we'll cover as much as we can. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat along the way, and we'll get those answered. We'll save some time at the end to get those questions answered, say about 5 to 10 minutes. And we'll get those answered for you. So hope everyone's doing well, and we'll go ahead and get started. So once you log into your DistributorCentral account, you'll come to your main page, which is your home page of we call it Product Central. So from here, before you even get into the search, we have Product Central, which will kind of give you ideas. So you'll have Product of the Day, which you see right here. Deals is going to be the email blast that you receive from suppliers. Ideas is going to be based off of what you've been searching for, and so we have an intelligent search engine that's been keeping track of your search ideas and what you're doing, and it generates ideas for you. And we also have a monthly theme you can check out. If you come down here to the featured products, you'll see that these are previous products of the day. So featured products and products of the day, if you've attended other webinars in the past, these are blocks that you can use on your website if you build, and it'll automatically fill in these products for you based on the information pulling from the dashboard here. Recommended for you goes back to ideas. So this one will just randomly generate something out of this product collection here, and you can view all these. Any of these ribbons you can view by clicking the arrow, view a couple more, and then you can click view more, and it will pull up the entire collection for you. Top sellers is going to be the top products from the top suppliers. So that's going to give you an idea, and you can also use this one on your website if you want to for a product collection. Order and save, this is going to be all the products from suppliers that if you order online through DistributorCentral, you'll receive $5 off, and we placed it all in one product collection for you, so you don't have to go digging for it. So if you're looking at it here, you can see that $5 off tag. So like in the top sellers, one of the products is there, but for this collection, we went ahead and put it all together in one, so you can see them all in one spot. And then product categories is just the main categories that you can search through, and we'll kind of go over that once we get into the product search. So in regards to the product search, if you look up at the top of the very page, it'll be on any page of your dashboard, you'll see products, and then you'll see a search bar next to it. In this search bar, you can enter in an item number, you can enter in keywords, and it'll go and search for the products that you're looking for. So if I go to, let's say I want to look up a tumbler, as you can see as I'm typing, the system's thinking, and it's already pulled back the 3 search results for the tumbler. That will come up. So if I click search, I can either click the search icon, I can click the show all results for tumbler, or I can just hit enter on my keyboard. So you can see once the search results come up, those 3 that came up in the search will be right here, the first 3. And then from here, I can start narrowing it down into the filters, and we'll get into that here in a second. But you can see these are all the search results for the tumbler. So any keyword item number you want to put in, you can put in there and it'll pull it up. And like I said, any page you're on, no matter where you're at in your dashboard, you can access the product search just by entering an item number or a keyword. Other quick links that we have here, you can check your customers, which would be any customers that you've created on your account when you're placing an order, or if you have a website, in order for your customers to finish the order, they'll have to create an account or log into their existing account. You can check order number. So if you place an order, in regards to orders, we'll be doing a webinar that goes over all that next week. So I recommend checking that one out. But you can enter in your order number, you can enter a PO number, quote number, products is the one we're on now, and then suppliers. And like I said, it's intelligent. So even if I have it on products, let's say if I type in hit promotional, it's going to start looking for products regarding those keywords hit, but it also knows that the system knows that's a supplier. So I could literally come up here and do show all results for hit. If I click on it, then it's going to pull up the results for hit. And you can see it narrows it down. It set an active filter for hit. Another way you can do it is if you come up here, click products, and you just go to suppliers in general, and then you do hit again. It's going to search through our database of suppliers. You can see their contact information here. You can hit info, and then you can see all their information. If you come down here and hit products, view all products, it's going to take me to the same place it took me to before. So in regards, we get a lot of questions asked, what suppliers are currently on DistributorCentral, or if you're looking for supplier contact info, how do I find that? So you can come over here to the left-hand menu where it says suppliers, and this menu will carry over to every page. So this menu will show up on every page, and so will the header up here. So you can always access this information if you need it. If you go to suppliers on DistributorCentral, you'll see here a list of all the suppliers that we're currently working with. You can sort by company name, city, state, zip. And so just like the other ones, when you click view all products, if you click the view all products, it will take you over to the same results, add a filter for that supplier, and only provide their products. If you want to look up a supplier, if you're curious to see, their contact information, you can just type in their name here. And if you don't find it in there, that means that they're currently not fully integrated with DistributorCentral. You can click this suggest a supplier button, which gets sent over to us, and then we'll follow up with them, see if they'll be a good fit, so we can try to get their products in our database, which will make it so you can order those or put them on your website. So let's go back to the search here. Another thing with the search is when I mentioned item number, obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. If there's an item number that the supplier has, you can put that in there. It'll automatically pull up the product. Another thing you need to think about when doing search more towards the keyword side of things is you got to think about name brand versus generic. And I'll show you an example here. So everybody knows Band-Aids is Band-Aids, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know that that's actually a name brand. So in order for the supplier to have those products in there, they would have to have the rights to sell Band-Aid branded products. So if I do Band-Aid, like the name brand, and I type it in, you'll see that when the results come back here, it'll be limited to 66 results. But if I do medical bandage, you'll see that there's more results. So these are going to be Band-Aid type of items, just don't have the Band-Aid brand name. Another one that comes across a lot would be koozie. If you do koozie by itself, you can see that it'll come up with some results here, 496. But if I switch it to like can cooler, you can see that a lot more will come up here too. 1,961. So you got to kind of play around with the keywords. Make sure you're not using a brand name, and if you are, try to think of another way to say it. That way that you can get the most results back that you're looking for. So as you can see there, between the Band-Aid versus medical bandage and koozie versus can cooler, you can kind of play around with both of those ways, and the more generic way, you're going to get back more results. But if you're looking for a particular brand, you can just type in the brand name, and then any results come back that will help you out and narrow it down to the brand name. So the way the keyword works is you want to try to limit it to 3 words. It's going to search through the name of the product, the description, and anything else on the product, like additional information, stuff like that. So you want to try to keep it as few keywords as possible. The more you add, the more it's going to bring back other results, because it's looking through the description and other things. So that's kind of a tip for you guys when searching for products, because we get a lot of questions. Actually had one not too long ago that was in regards to that Band-Aid one. And so that was basically the way that you get around that. So now let's go back to tumblers. We'll take a look at, so once we enter in the keyword, now we're going to actually pull up the product here, and let's figure out, how do I see net versus retail? How do I see who the supplier is? How do I get all the information on the product? So if I pull up tumblers and I just pick one here, and we'll just go with this one, you see there's a quick view option which you can click on that and you can kind of get just a general snapshot of everything about it, and you can also go to the product details if you need to. If you want to view the full product details, you just come below the quick view and click on it, and it's going to pull up the product details page. So here you can see the name of the product, the item number, who the supplier is, and this is going to be the same for every product. So when you're looking at the product and you see the supplier's name here, Diamond Branding, in this case you can click on it and it'll pull up their contact information, and that way you can reach out to them if you need to. Or let's say you need to get a quote from them, you can go ahead and fill out this form and submit to get a quote. Here you'll see the product options that are associated with it. So if you click on it, these are going to be what's going to show up during the order process when you're placing an order. So it's going to ask for a product color, which you can see here, and it's going to ask for the options, whether you want full color or laser engraved. So it's going to have two different options as you go through it, and it's got two different styles, the 20 ounce and the 30 ounce. And then you'll see all the details of the product. If you come over here, you can start the order process, which I said we'll go over that next week in next week's webinar. You can email a product. We'll go over that here in a second. With the product list tools is the way I recommend doing it. You can do it this way if you want to, but I recommend using the product list tools, as you can do more than one product at a time. You can ask for a shipping estimate. You can order a sample. In regards to the samples, the best way to order the sample from the supplier is to contact them directly, because a lot of times they will offer one at no cost. So it's definitely good to follow up with them. That way you can see if you can get possibly a free sample. New quote, once again, that goes back to the product list tool, and you'll see that here once we get to it. Last one is report inaccurate information. So this one comes in handy. So let's say, for instance, this said right here, $219.90. If you click report inaccurate information, it'll fill in all the information about the product. And so all you need to do is come below here and just enter in a message like pricing is incorrect, showing $219. You can do a snapshot if you want to, upload any files and hit save. What that does is that will send it over to the supplier, and then we'll also get a copy here in DistributorCentral, so we can get in there and make sure that to get that product updated with the most current accurate data. As we go down, you'll see here it says pricing details. So this is what I was talking about, where you can switch between net versus retail. So here you have viewing retail, switch to net. So retail would be your end user customer cost, and then net would be your cost as a distributor. So you can see here yours is $16.49. If you switch to retail, it's $21.99. So product details page is going to give you a lot of the information you're looking for. But if I go back a page here, and you see the little thumbnails that pop up, you can actually see who the supplier is and kind of see the price range and see what the minimum. There's a little snapshot here. So there's the item number, there's the minimum quantity that's available, and then there's the supplier right there. But if you need the supplier's name, you can just click on it, and it'll pull it up in the, it'll pull up the product details page, and then you can click on the supplier's name, which will pull up their contact info. So as we come here to the product search, you've noticed these filters over here. And as I showed you earlier with the active filter, currently we have tumblers, because that's the keyword that we entered in up here. And you can see that it's currently what's entered in here, because it just carried it over. So now from here, I can even add more filters if I wanted to. So let's say I wanted to narrow it down to like blue tumblers. So as I come over here, you can see the different categories that we have here in the filter. So color family, I can switch it to blue. Once I click on blue, then it adds it here. Now I know any of these products are tumblers and they have a blue option for color in it. And you can keep narrowing it down if you want to. Let's say you wanted to see who the suppliers are that came back in the search results. Well, if you keep going down, you'll see one as we get to the bottom here, it'll say supplier, and you'll see the number next to it. So the number next to it lets you know how many came back in the search results. So if you click view more suppliers, you can see them all in one spot. All the suppliers that came back in the search results right now that we have with the filters applied, which would be tumblers as a keyword, and then blue as the color family filter. And so you can narrow it down, and if you wanted to see, just like for instance, if you wanted to see hits, you can click on the plus, add it and save it, and it'll add the hit filter to it. Or you can do multiple ones at a time. But this kind of gives you an idea of the suppliers that have come back in the search results, and how many products have come back in the results based on the filters that you have applied. So as you can see, there's quite a few different options here that you can do for filtering. You can even filter, like if you wanted to clear everything. Let's say we'll clear it all, and we don't want to do a keyword, we just kind of want to search for it. And this goes back to the categories like we talked about briefly up here. So it's the same thing here, and it was also on the home page at the bottom with the masonry tiles. I can come over here and I can go to drinkware, and it'll just keep adding filters. And then I come down here and go to tumblers, and you can see it just keeps adding filters. And then I can go and add a blue or whatever I wanted to do. And then if I want to start over, I can clear all. Let's say that I wanted to search for a mug. So now that I'm in the product search, I can just type it in here. You can type it in up here again if you want to, but you can just type it in here to refine your search since you're already there. So a lot of different things you can do with the search, as you can see, just as generally as we start off here. But let's say that now I want to create a list. Like let's go back and we'll do the tumblers. So I'll add tumblers here. And I want to save a list. And then I'm going to go blue again. So I'll go down to color family. Here it is, blue. And I want to save the entire search. So then all I need to do is click save the search, and I can rename it blue tumblers. And you can, if anybody else is active, any other active accounts, so if you set up any other user accounts, you can make it available to anybody, or you can make it private to your own individual user. So it's up to you. If I click that, then I click save. Now, if I ever came back here, later on in the future, and I want to get back to that, all I need to do is come to my save searches, and you can see there's my blue tumbler based on the filters that you've applied. So any filters that you've applied, it's going to save that entire search. So it could be 10 products, it could be 1,000 products. When you want to narrow it down a little bit more than that, that's when you get into the product list. That's when you're going to start picking and choosing what products go into your product list that you can either email to your customer, you can convert to the product collection to use on your website as a product presentation, which we'll show here at the end, or you can create a quote from it. So we'll go over those different options here. So if I click on the product list tab here, you can see that I've already added some, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear the list here real quick. So now I'm just going to add a couple of these different tumblers. So if you notice here, it says add to cart. That's going to start the order process. Once again, we'll go over that next week. We're going to focus on the add to list. So if I want to add some to the list, I can just click add to list, and we'll just do these 4 for now. And then you can see as I'm clicking on it, the animation drops it over here, excuse me, in the product list tool. Sorry about that. It drops it in the product list tool, and then when you're ready, you can see there's 4 products currently in there. If I click on it, it pulls it up, and now I have those 4 products in here, which I can save. I'll want to save the list to use it in the future. If you don't want to save it, you don't have to. So if you don't think you're ever going to come back to it, you don't have to save it. But if you want to save it, you can do that too. let's say I wanted to remove one of these products. I can click on this tumbler right here and click the trash can, and now I can have just these three. And all I'm going to do is come over here and click save as, and we'll do, let's see, we'll call it November tumblers. Save. And now anytime I want to come back to that, I can, or I can access any of my list by clicking on the product list. So if I just came to my search in general, click on the product list, go to manage list, I can see all the lists that I've ever created and I can pull them up. That way I can decide what I want to do with them. So if you want to send this out to multiple customers, make sure to save it. Once you save it, then you're good to go. So I have these saved here, and now I can do we'll go over these options down here. So you have email products, view and search, create quote, add to website, and clear list. So we'll start with the email products. So from here, if you already have a customer, which we talked about earlier with the CRM, so whether you created the order on the back end and created the customer account, or the customer created the order on your website and created their own account, their name will pop up here for an existing customer. If not, you can just enter in their email address. You can pick which website you want to display on it. So if you have websites through DistributorCentral, you'll have this option pop up. If you don't, then it won't show here. So I can pick one of the websites. So let's say I just want to do the customer presentation products, and I can add a subject, new tumblers, and then I can add a message that I can send to my customer, and then I can preview it. So let's go back here. Something's not right. Sorry about that. Let's try the none. So here how it's going to look with the email. What it's going to do is it's going to show up. This is how it's going to show up in their email when they receive it. So as HTML in their email. So they'll have all the products, all the three products that I've went with here. Now, if I wanted to customize that, I can do that too. So I can come over here to customize email. This is going to allow you to change. You can change the message. You can change the name of the product. You could take out the item number or come up with your own item number if you wanted to. You can add a row, either another quantity, or you can change the quantity and pricing here. So let's say if I added a row for engraving, and we'll do like a $20 charge. So now that's added to it, and then I can keep adding different things if I wanted to, or like I said, I could change that to one if I wanted to give them a price for just one or a different quantity. So you can remove, like on this one, you can see, let's say we're going with the 24 for these two. I can come in here and I can remove the other quantities, because with the normal one, it's going to show all the quantities and all the pricing breakdown based on what the supplier has put in there. But when you customize it, then you can change what you need to change about it. And it's similar to like a quote too. So the difference between email and products and quote, email products is going to be more like a general, like, hey, I'm interested in tumblers. Your customer says that. Here's some tumblers to check out. Normally it'll have the pricing breakdown, just generic of what they have, of what the suppliers provided, or maybe your customers, like, I'm interested in anywhere from 24 to 100, then you can leave the pricing breakdowns in there, or you can add them in yourself. A quote is more for if your customer's like, I want 24 tumblers, I just need 24. Then you're just quoting them just for that quantity. And like I said, here you can change that to 24. Let's just grab a similar price here. So we'll say this one is 15. And then I can remove that. And so now all of them just say 24. So like I said, you can fully customize this when you're emailing the products to your customer. And then when you're ready, just click send email. Also, another thing you can do is you can send a copy to yourself. So if you want to do that, just check the little box there before you click send email, and then you're good to go with that. Next thing is the view and search. This comes in handy if you have a product list that has like maybe 20 or more that you've added to it. If you click view and search, it's going to add that filter and narrow it down just to those products in that current list that you're viewing. You can see here, list November tumblers. So if I cleared that out, it would bring it back to the main search if I took it off. So that comes in handy when you have, like I said, 20 or more, or even 10. You know, when this starts to get filled up here and it'll say view more, then you can just easily view it in the search, and that way you don't have to view it down here in the thumbnails. Create a quote's the next one. So we talked about that a little bit just when we were talking about email products. So this is when it's going to be narrowed down to something in specific as far as the quantity goes. So if I click create quote, you can see it's going to grab the lowest quantity for all of them. And let's say that I only want to do these two. So I can remove this from the quote. And now I'm just left with these two for 24. If I wanted to compare a different amount, I could. So like I said, usually with the quote, it's going to be one quantity that they're looking for, and you can quote them on that. But if you need to give them more than one, just click compare different amount, and it'll add it in here, and then you can add another quantity if you needed to. But we're just going to keep it simple for now. If you look over here, you have options. You can send a net to yourself. Obviously, you don't want to send that to your customer, so it's defaulted to retail. You can mark up or mark down a percentage from net or retail, whether you want to show tax or freight. We're just going to leave it all default for now so you can kind of get an idea. So I'll click create quote, and I can call this whatever I want. So I'll just use the same name. Prepared for, once again, goes back to the customer CRM. So if you have the customer already, they have an account, you can look it up, put their information in there. And I think I have a couple in here, so I'll show you here. So we'll just grab this one, save changes, and it's going to add their information in there, or you could type it in there if you wanted to. Logo, so you can already see that I have a logo in there. So if you want, once you add a logo to your quote, it'll automatically keep that logo moving forward until you change it again, and it'll just save the most recent logo. So if I wanted to change it, I could click that, and then it just needs to be a JPEG or PNG. And then you can choose file from your dashboard and then click upload file, and it'll change it right here. So you can see I already have it on there. Now we go down, and each page is going to be its own product. So you can see two products in the quote, two in the page, 2 pages. From here, you actually have the ability, so with the email products, you know, you could customize a few things, but here you can actually remove this image. So let's say that you have this image with the customer's logo on it. So you have ability to do that, you know, through like Photoshop or Illustrator or some image editing software or graphics. You can remove it, change image, and then you can put in your own image so it's more customized to your customer. And let's say that you actually removed it, you can click restore and it'll bring it back. Over here, you'll see that you can fully customize the message description. You can take out whatever you want to take about it regarding the product details. You can add an image within this if you wanted to. So if you want to add additional images to your quote, you can add it in here. So you'll notice that this toolbar is very similar if you're familiar with the websites. The written content is basically what it is. And it's very similar to like a Microsoft toolbar. If you want to add HTML in, you can. So a lot of different things you can fully customize if you know how to do that, HTML and all that. If not, you can just, like I said, use the toolbar here. So you have like bold, italicize, underline. You can change the font, change the style, change the size of it, the color. So a lot of different things you can do there. You can decide whether you want to show the product description on separate pages or how you want to do that. Add a custom option. So that kind of goes back to the same thing with the email products. So if I wanted to add that custom option for the engraving that we talked about, and then do quantity 24, price 20, and I'll click add, and then it'll add it to this one right here. So now I have it added in there, and you'll see if you're looking at it, it's just the generic information about the product. So when we went back earlier and we were narrowing it down to blue tumblers, we'll do that here with the quote. So if you want to add the options in the quote, you can do that, but by default, it's just going to grab the product, grab the pricing, and then if you want to really get down into it, you can. So we'll show you that here. So if I go to the options, I have product colors here. So if I click on edit, I can now pick from the colors that I want. So if I wanted to go with, we'll just say, we'll go with this matte navy. Hit save changes. And then you'll see it'll update it. So now it's got the color there, product color, and it's got the matte navy for the actual color. So by default, it won't be there, but you can add it in if you want to. It's up to you. You can also add a footer or disclaimer that'll be on every page if you wanted to. So just like a message or anything you wanted to show there. Next thing I'll do is I'll go to the next one, and you'll see it's the exact same thing. So I can customize it again. I could add engraving if I want to do engraving on that one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Once you create the quote, it'll generate a quote number, which you can see right here is the 210-2099. This is going to give you the ability to pull up the quote later on. So we'll go here and I'll show you. I'll just copy it. From here, you can send off the quote if you're ready. So you can email the quote. And usually when I email the quote, I do the send quote as HTML and PDF. That way they have two versions, but you can pick and choose how you want to send it. Another thing you can do is if you come up here to what do you want to do, you can convert the quote to an order. You can void it if you decide you don't want it anymore. You can edit it, you can duplicate it, or you can return to quote management, which would be right here. So let's say that I send this off to my customer and then they come back to me next week and they say, I want to go ahead and take care of that, place that order for the quote that you sent me. Let's go ahead and do it. So I'd log into my DC account, and I'd be on my home page here. I'd come over here to order number, or I'm sorry, quote number. I put in the quote number and it would pull it right up. You can see right there. I'd click on it. And then I'll come up here and change this to convert to order. Let's say you don't know the quote. You don't remember the quote number. So what you can do is you can come over here to the left-hand menu, click on orders, go to quotes, quotes from customers, and recent quotes is going to pull within the last 30 days. So anything you see, and you'll see this next week too when we go over orders, anything that says recent is going to pull within the last 30 days. So if you click that, it's going to pull up all the quotes within the last 30 days. Takes me to the exact same page. So if I had like 5 or 6 quotes in here, they'd all pull up. I just have the one. And then, like I said, customer says, let's go ahead and do it. I want to convert it to an order. Then I just change the selection to convert to order, which this means you don't have to go back in and re-enter in everything. I'm going to click go. And you'll recognize this page next week when we go over the order process. This is the last page of the order. It's the order review and confirmation page. So you'll make sure everything's correct. And we'll just do the middle since it is live. And we'll create the PO. And it's going to generate the order for us, as you can see here. So now the order's ready. And then all I have to do is click send to send it off to the supplier. Like I said, we'll go into more detail about this page and that, how to send it next week. But that's how you would basically convert a quote over to an order. So if you convert a quote to an order, or if you want to do that, remember that once you do that, that quote number is going to take over the order number. So if you want to leave the quote, it's best to do the duplicate. So if you come up to quote, you'll see it's going to pull up, it's not there anymore because it converted it to an order. So what you'll want to do, like I said, is you'll want to make a duplicate quote of it if you need to keep it for whatever reason, and then convert one of them to the order. So now we're going to, last but not least, we're going to go into the customer presentation. So we'll just stick with Tumblr like we've been doing, keep it easy. And you'll notice here that the product list is loading, and it's going to load based off my last session. So I have the tumblers in there. If I needed to do a new list, all I need to do is click add new list. And we can just title it new list. Hit save. What that does is it's going to create a new list. So it clears out my old list without deleting it. And then it will create a new list for me. So you can name it whatever you want, and I'll show you what I mean here. So if I just add just a couple of these here, and let's say I want to do a new list and I accidentally hit the clear list, you'll get the pop-up that says, are you sure you want to clear this? So if I say yes, remove all products, then it's going to remove the products. And I'll show you another example. So we'll go with the the November tumblers. We'll open the list, and then let's say if I clear list, thinking, oh, I'm going to start a new list, and if I click remove all products, now you'll see that if I come here, that the November tumblers now has 0 products. So it's going to clear your active list. You need to make sure to click add new list, and then it will get those added for you. So we'll go back here and add these to the list again. Once you have the list name created, it's automatically saving it. So there's no save. It'll say draft if you don't have it saved or created, add a new list, or you don't have the list name yet. So you can see I already had November tumblers. So any ones I add to there is automatically going to save and update. So now let's say I have a list of products. We'll just grab, a couple of them here. And I want to create a product presentation for my customer. So first thing you need to do is you need to create a website, and we have which I'll show you here. So we'll keep it at that, and you'll see that those will be saved. So if I come over here to the menu, go to Websites, Hosting Manager. I've already created a presentation, but the way you do that, and we have help guides, and I'll reference that here at the end, show you how to get there. But what you do once you have it created, so you just add new website, and we actually have one called Customer Presentation. So if you scroll down, you'll see it right here, Customer Presentations. So it's very simple. We'll preview it here real quick. It allows you to put the logo, your logo or your customer's logo at the top, and then yours at the bottom. So you can customize it, to their liking. And then in the middle is just going to be the collection that you're going to convert from a product list. So if we go back to the product search, and this is another good point here. So let's say you just want to get back to the product search. You don't want to enter an item number. You don't want to enter in a keyword. You don't want to do categories. You just want to pull up the main search and then kind of go from there. You can come over here to the left-hand menu, click products, product search, and then it'll just pull up all products, all suppliers, and also load your product list here. So now that I have it pulled back up, you can see, as I told you before, that it's going to remember your last one. So it's got November tumblers in there. I'm going to use this option that says add to website. What this is doing is it's going to convert this product list into a product collection. And if you're not familiar with product collections, we have a previous webinar we did on that. Basically, it's an old version of the way it used to be with catalogs, but now it's more advanced where you're creating a collection and then you're just adding filters. So it's kind of similar to what you're doing here with the product search when you add the different filters, filter it down to the kind of product collection that you want, and then you save that and it goes on your website. This allows you to skip that step from the product search, and you can just automatically convert it over to collection. You don't need to create it during the product collection when you're setting up the website. So I'll just I'll put the name here, same thing. Pick which website I want it to go on, which is the customer presentation products. Click add to website. And you can see successfully created November tumblers published to customer presentation products. So if I click close and I go back over here to the menu, go to Websites Hosting Manager, and I go to customer presentation products, click manage, and then down here where it says product collections, I'm going to click manage. And you'll see that it created that product collection for me. So created a collection, added the filter, which is the product list, 7 products, which is what I had, and now I'm good to go. So if I go to my website and view it now, you can see it's narrowed it down to just those 7 products. So previously I've gotten in here and already did the logo, updated the logo. to, just whatever, like I said, it can either be your logo or it can be your customer's logo. What this does is this is different from the quote, and this is different from email products, is it's more personalized. They get their own URL. So the URL is based on when you create the website, whatever you add here is going to be in front of the dc.dcpromosite.com. So you can create basically customized URLs for your customer. So usually what we do is whatever their company name is, we'll try to put that first, and then it'll end in the .dcpromosite.com. That way they can access this from their cell phone, their laptop, their tablet, and of course their desktop. And they're not viewing it via email, which is how they would do with the quote and how they would do with the email products. So this is more hands-on. And also from here, they can reach out to you and let you know, hey, I'm interested in this, and you'll get notifications regarding just this website in general that they're interested in it. You can even turn order on, like if they say, I like what I see here, I want to order something, you can then go into the website preferences and turn the order function on for this, and then they can place an order through this website that you created for them, this customer presentation. So as you can see, a lot of different things with the product search and presentation tools. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. But like always, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you can reach us at 888-516-7401. Or you can email us anytime at info@distributorcentral.com. Another thing, I know is kind of a lot of information that we covered today, but also you can check out our help center, which is just help.distributorcentral.com. And then if you come under here under distributors, you can see a lot of the different things like how to search for a product. So that's basically what we went over. You can also type in what you're looking for. You can check out the most frequently asked questions here. All these frequently asked questions will have a step walkthrough guide and also a video that goes along with it. So definitely recommend checking that out if you get stuck. Excuse me. And also another thing to check out is if you go to our homepage, DistributorCentral.com, come up here to resources, click on the live training. This is going to give you the most up-to-date webinars that are coming up. So as I mentioned, get signed up for that one next week, which is right here. So you can click register. And with these webinars, as long as you sign up, whether you able to attend or not, you'll get a link to the recording. So definitely recommend signing up, and a lot of good information there. If you go back to resources and go to training videos, this is going to be our webinar page. So these are going to be the previous videos that we've done. And you can check them out here so you can see most recently added, some of the featured videos, and you can see all the different sections here to choose from. And this one today will be on there shortly within the next day or two. Definitely recommend checking those out. But like always, like I said, just contact us if you have any questions. I will stick around for about 5-10 minutes. I see some questions in here, so we'll get those answered. But hope you guys have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.